Hurricane Beryl remains a dangerous Category 4 storm as it continues to move toward Jamaica. And a new law in Tennessee requires domestic violence suspects to wear GPS monitoring devices. Good morning. I'm Corva Coleman from NPR News, and here are today's top stories. President Biden told supporters last night at a fundraiser he did not listen to his staff in the weeks ahead of last week's debate. He had traveled abroad twice, and NPR's Deepa Shivaram reports Biden joked that he nearly fell asleep on the debate stage.
Biden was in McLean, Virginia, just outside Washington, attending a fundraiser where press are allowed inside but can't record audio or video. Biden said he didn't get much sleep before the debate last week. In the weeks leading up to the debate, Biden traveled to France for the anniversary of D-Day and to Italy for the G7 summit. The audience laughed when Biden said he nearly fell asleep on the debate stage. He said it wasn't an excuse, but it was an explanation. It's the most detail Biden has gotten into semi-publicly on his lackluster debate performance. Deepa Shivaram, NPR News, the White House.
Former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says it is, quote, legitimate to ask whether Biden's poor performance at the debate was a one-time issue or whether it was a, quote, condition. She says she is supporting President Biden, but Pelosi urged him to sit down for interviews with serious journalists. Biden will do that Friday with ABC. He'll also hold a press conference next week during a NATO meeting. Hurricane Beryl continues to storm through the Caribbean Sea. It's aimed directly at Jamaica. Top sustained winds are at 145 miles per hour, and it's a Category 4 storm. Jamaican Prime Minister Andrew Holness notes Beryl was previously considered a Category 5 storm, the top category assigned by the National Hurricane Center.
It highlights the growing impact of climate change on global weather patterns, particularly on small island developing states like Jamaica.
Hurricane Beryl first made landfall in the Caribbean islands around Grenada. There are reports that 6 people there have been killed and that destruction is catastrophic. The hurricane is expected to move toward Mexico later this week. A new Tennessee law requires suspects in domestic violence cases to wear a GPS monitoring device until their court date. From member station WPLN, Rose Gilbert reports on the first such law in the nation.
The law was named for Marie Varsos and her mother. They were murdered by Marie's abusive husband after he was arrested and then almost immediately released for strangling her until she lost consciousness. After being released, he tracked her down and waited outside for 45 minutes in a rental car stocked with zip ties and weapons before murdering Marie and his mother-in-law. Marie's brother, Alex Yan, has been advocating for this new GPS measure for more than 2 years.
This is one of the most important bills that I feel like could have actually saved my mother and sister.
The law received broad, bipartisan support in the Tennessee legislature. For NPR News, I'm Rose Gilbert in Nashville.
You're listening to NPR News from Washington.